What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another deck profile here on TCG University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and today I'm going to be showing you my Twinkle Murdock deck that I played for the Princess and the Pea Royal Rumble. So this week was a free week where I let everybody from the UniVersus faculty decide whatever deck they wanted to play, they could play it. And this was the deck that I wanted to play. I very much wanted to play Twinkle Murdock because it's a really cool combo with Concerto and the Killick action that I wanted to play. And so without further ado, let's just jump into it. All right, so if you haven't seen one of my deck profiles before, basically what I'm going to be doing is, as opposed to just reading off the cards verbatim, I'm going to be telling you what the deck wants to do and how it works. So a little bit of transparency. So whenever I first made this deck, I made it with Forbidden Moonset inside of the main board without realizing that Forbidden Moonset is a safe attack. And Twinkle Murdock has this beautiful static that says, you cannot play safe attacks. Moonset's the best card to play inside of the combo, and it makes me not want to play Twinkle Murdock, but there's plenty of things that's going inside of Twinkle Murdock that makes me want to play this deck over anything else, even though I lose Moonset. So it really is personal preference of, if you do decide to net deck the deck, maybe change out some cards for Moonset whenever you're allowed to play safe attacks. And so the deck on stream that we watch, if you watch the Princess and the Pea versus the Royal Rumble matches, I'm playing as Tira because I had to make a very quick change of, hey, I'm not allowed to play this character because I'm not allowed to play this deck. And so I played Tira, and the deck was fine, but I actually prefer it as Twinkle over Tira. And so here's the reason why. Number one, I get to just jam two momentum into my opponent's, jam two of my opponent's momentum in there as quick as I can, as well as her once per game reveal my hand and negate a thing. There's so many times I negated, when I was playing some friendlies not on stream, I negated a 4 foundation deep power flip that would have just ended the game, right? He would have he built 4 as Cassie Cage, and then as he attempted to power flip his foundations down, I just showed him my hand and said no. You have 2 ready foundations and 5 progressive in your card pool. Play another attack, or else I'm going to kill you next turn. He didn't, and so I won. And so with that said, the speed and damage are not necessarily what matters. What matters is I have a once per turn or once per game, knock it off, I want to win. Or let's say they have a way to interact with my combo with an enhanced or responsive form or whatever. No, just once per game. Nah, I don't think so. And so with that said, let's go ahead and just jump into the combo. So the main card that we're playing is Bleak Concerto Finale. This card gets absolutely stacked. There's plenty of times where this card inside of the deck is like with its combo enhance gets like +7/+7, and then I'll discard their whole momentum and then burn them for 7 vitality. And so it jams in 2. Twinkle jams in 2, and so there's +4/+4 by itself. And so to start off with, it's an 8 mid for 10 without any other ways to gain momentum, without any other ways of them gaining momentum. Maybe they accidentally gain momentum. Here's an 8 mid for 10 that's going to burn them for 4. So an 8 mid for 14, and all I got to do is just play this on a 6. Nutty, absolutely nutty. This card is 90. I will say 100%, this is the way to kill people inside of this deck, is you just drop 2 of these and they're dead. Up next, we're playing for Betrayal. This card's really rad in Twinkle because she has on her character commit to do a cool thing. And so I will just play the Betrayal on my turn. I'll commit Twinkle and just draw 2 cards and then build out. There's no way they want to block a 5 mid for 3. And all that's doing is just making my burn condition off of Finale just even easier, even simpler. We do have one more attack in the deck that is a 3 damage attack, and so giving it +2/+2. And the combo does work off of Betrayal. And so like there's just a lot of good stuff that we can have happen with Betrayer. Speaking of which, here it is. We're playing, I thought I was playing 4 Boulder Snare, but I might have only been playing 3. Let me double check. Yeah, we're playing 3 Boulder Snare, Boulder Crush. This card has powerful 3, and so with Betrayal, it's a 7 high for 5, and it says that I can use my opponent's momentum in order to pay for its powerful abilities. So let's say that the play is Betrayal into a Boulder Snare. So I'll take and commit with Twinkle, give them the 2 momentum. I'll play this, smack them for 3. Now this is a 7 high for 5. That's going to get an additional 6 damage. So it's a 7 high for 11 on turn 2. And there's really nothing that they can do about it unless they have their own momentum outs on foundations or their character. Just a really solid backup play. Up next, we're playing 4 I don't know this word, rhythm. I think it's a musical term. Makes sense. But we're playing 4 rhythm. This card is another good win condition. This card's one of the best late game options to I'll play rhythm and then play bleak, because they have to put a card in the card pool to block this, because I've probably given them like 6 or 7 momentum, which means that this card's going to be doing like 6 or 7 additional damage. And not only that, it's if it deals damage, so they can half block this and use their mid block, and then it'll still burn them for the 7. So it's later in the game, it's even better than a throw. This is the card that I had to add in whenever I took out Moonset, just for full transparency. And then the last attack in the deck, the least offensive aggro card in the deck is actually Scratch. This card is actually used more for disruption on the reversal. I want to block, play the reversal, and then add a momentum to your card pool. Maybe give it a little stats with Twinkle's cool ability. But I never, 9 times out of 10, I don't combo this because I need to keep my foundations as pure as possible, because accidentally checking a 2 on a Bleak Concerto might just be what loses me the game. Yes, it wins the game, but it can lose just as quickly. And so I need to keep my foundations as good as I can. Not to mention there's plenty of cards in the game that just like out momentum, and I'm already giving them enough momentum. And so just shove it in the card pool so all my stuff gets a little faster, or their turn is harder to play, is just the main reason this card exists. On to the assets and actions. The first asset we're playing is one Yuga. It is in here for the early play pickup Concerto. So I'll play an attack, play Concerto, and then pick it back up, and then play it again if possible. And so what I can do here is use play the attack. I'll see if I can have room. Yeah, we have plenty of room. I'll play the attack, play Concerto, combo with it, add you 2, and then I'll just use Yuga to pick it back up and then play it again. And then we have a fresh enhance. So now I'll use Twinkle, give it stats, use Twinkle, give it more momentum, use Concerto again, give you another one. And so this is just, these 2 cards combined just have another +2/+2 to my attack. I very much want to Spirit Bomb with them with the Concerto. And then the other action or asset we're playing, is Drossel. Drossel says that at Desperation, I just nuke an attack, as well as whenever I play a combo ability, which all of my attacks are combos except for one, it's gonna get an additional 2 speed, and if I happen to be a Desperation, I'll draw an additional card. Just absolutely fantastic. If I could play Swordfish in this deck, I would, for like the same reason for the Desperation. Now onto the actions. This card right here is the whole reason we want to play the deck. Suffer My Bloodlust. It's so easy to take and have a Bleak Concerto and whatever other card inside my hand. I will play whatever card, play Suffer My Bloodlust, pay 4, pick this up, and now my Bleak Concerto not only gets +2 damage because of Suffer, but it's also 2 difficulty less. And so it's on a 5/6 -2, so this is now on a 4. Even if I check the 2, it's fine. And this card combos with a Fury, which we just so happen to be. This has the Fury keyword, and the way that cards work for the combo is it just looks for the card directly in front of it. And so an even stronger play that we can do is we can play the attack, leave it there. I'll play the Bleak Concerto next because this card also has Fury. After it resolves, I'll play the Suffer My Bloodlust on a 6. I'll check my 5, commit my 1 foundation, pick up my Bleak Concerto, play it again, use it again, stuff their momentum crazy full, and then discard it. And so not only does this one get an extra 2 damage, they had to have blocked the first one because it was going to deal so much damage. Just by itself, like, it's already like, what, a 14 damage attack? Absolutely insane. And then so this one's going to be coming in and swinging for like 30, depending on what extra tools that we have inside the match. This card is very much, it's a win more card, and I realize it's a win more card. But here's the other reason I want to play Twinkle instead of Tira. In order for me to make those kind of plays happen, I have to have 5 vitality to lose, which means that I can't like have double Suffer My Bloodlust and a singular Bleak Concerto and kill them. And so it's it can certainly be an issue. Having the 26 life very much is worth it. Up next, we're playing triple Yin and Yang. Yin and Yang just says I'll block and either pick up my reversal or pick up my Bleak Concerto for next turn, and so you better kill me. Or even better yet, after I play my Bleak Concerto, I will play the Yin and Yang into my card pool, add the top 2 cards of their deck into their card pool, and now it's nigh impossible for them to block any of the things for the rest of my turn. And then the last action in my deck is Double Bang. Bang just says that I get to turn off a singular card. Twinkle Murdock says turn off a card once per game. Bang says turn off a card once per turn. Once for a turn, excuse me. And so my opponent's got a really cool character. They're doing a lot of cool things. Like, as Twinkle Murdock, in a match, I beat a rando deck. all because this card gets to put in so much work. All because Twinkle's ability gets to put in so much work. As a character as Twinkle, a character who wants to give my opponent 11 momentum, and as Rando, a character who would love to have 11 momentum, cards like this that just turn off his character are incredibly important. On to the foundations. The first and only aggressive foundation that we're playing is double Ridding the World of Outsiders. This is just to make my reversals a little scarier. 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to use it on a Bleak Concerto because it's already going to get big enough that it doesn't need the +2/+2. Sometimes if I have the foundation base, yeah, I'll go ahead and pump it a little extra. But it is just more important just to make sure that my reversals are scary, to try and interrupt their turn that way. So you could consider this a defensive card, but this is a card that just kills them, and so it's going to be in the aggressive pile. Onto the flow cards, because Bleak Concerto by itself is just an aggressive enough card. It just Spirit Bonds them. It is a 20 damage attack all by itself, and so I don't need my foundations to be doing anything except for keeping me alive and making sure my combo can go off. And so we're playing One of Sun's Love. First form, commit, draw an additional card. I'm trying to dig for those concertos just as quickly as I can. The next flow card is Double Pure of Heart. I'm playing a combo deck, which means that my opponent can have disruption cards that matter to me very greatly. And so I don't want to use my Twinkle once per game unless I absolutely have to. And so my Pure of Heart says, first hands commit. I'm going to turn off the problem foundation that you have. If you have another copy of it, sure, I'll use Twinkle. But as the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that you can't use, oh, you have a Swordfish too, and I only have the one Bleak Concerto. Well, you don't get to use your Swordfish too. You don't get to use your Wearlight. You don't get to use your thing that discards your entire momentum and does a cool thing. You just don't get to play the abilities on that card. And so this is a saving grace. Not to mention it's really good versus versus discard decks. Excuse me, it is anti-discard. Speaking of discard decks, we're playing 3 Save the Sea Rats. This card's phenomenal for 2 reasons. Number one, we've got a ton of cards in here that add cards to my opponent's momentum, which is only going to make Bleak Concerto even stronger, even better. But not only that, but this card has the added bonus of I'm going to take in, it is a unique card. I know I'm playing 3 of it. I'm going to flip. I'm going to add a card. You add a card from your hand to your momentum. And so you have 1 less card to block with, and then you have to block all of my Bleak Concertos. It's doubtful that it's going to happen. And if you happen to have any draw power, I can just negate it with Twinkle. Up next, we're playing Double God of Thunder. Our main combo has to be played as a combo on a 6 diff at minimum, right? Unless we've got the Suffer My Bloodlust. And so making sure I keep my foundations ready is incredibly important. It's super, super important that I keep my foundations ready. And so as a combo player, I need to make sure that I can keep my stuff ready, and so God of Thunder just does that job the best. It's the best at making sure I've got a very clean, ready staging area. I'm playing double Honky Tonk Woman. I think God of Thunder Honky Tonk Woman is like guaranteed inside of most decks. I think you play, if you're playing 2 God of Thunder, you should play double Honky Tonk Woman because of the fact that God of Thunder is playable while committed. There was one turn where I accidentally checked this off the top of the deck on a Bang play. I played Bang and then found a God of Thunder. On my next turn, I just grabbed my God of Thunder, and now I'm just ready to go off. I can combo to oblivion. Not to mention, I have plenty of playable while committed destroy effects. And so if it is playable while committed on the top of my discard pile, I'll flip it, just bring it in, and then use that ability once again. Onto defense, I've got 1 Murderous Addiction. Desperation, first enhance, remove. If my opponent has 1 momentum, reduces attack damage to 0. And so I have to sit here and bide my time and wait and wait and wait. And this is just a panic emergency button of, oh, actually, I don't want to deal with that. Not to mention, it also shoves an asset from my opponent's one of my opponent's assets into their momentum, once again, playable while committed, and it's the destroy ability. So the exact Honky Tonk play that I was talking about. Destroy, add an asset, flip, add, it's a new copy of the card, destroy, add an asset. We're playing 4, His Gift of Immortal Blood. This card just essentially says, for Bleak Concerto, commit, +1 speed, +1 damage, burn 1. It also says +1 speed, +1 damage off of half of a +1/+1 off of Twinkle, and more importantly, it says add one of the cards to their momentum, discard 1 of my momentum, and then -5 speed, so I can make sure I can block something. I am playing a bunch of reversals. I'm playing things like Yin Yang that I want to make sure I can go off, and the only way that I can make that happen is by having really good blocks. Onto the disruption. We're playing for a new master. This card says that I can commit it or destroy it to take a card from their momentum and put it into their card pool. So on the reversal play, it's really easy for my opponent to have 2 momentum because Twinkle just commits and gives them 2 momentum. And so I'll give them the 2 momentum, and then commit this one. Since they have 2, they add 1 to their card pool, and then use the scratch to add the other one. Well, now they essentially have breaker 2 for the rest of the turn because I committed to 2 of my cards. I committed 2 of my cards to make you have +2 progressive for the rest of the turn. It is very, very much worth. Up next, we're playing 4 Unmet Demands. This card is fantastically good. It's just a trade 1-for-1 across, but because of our trade 1-for-1 across and because of Bleak Concerto, it says I destroy a ready foundation for you to add any of your foundations for essentially +1/+1 burn 1. Not to mention it is once again half of Twinkle Murdock's. We're playing triple My Beautiful Child. This says that if they have a foundation answer that they build, I can just remove this one to shove it in the momentum. It's also removed for +1/+1 burn 1, and it says that maybe they build a Wear Light as like the last card that they play. Actually, no, I don't want to deal with Wear Light. I don't want to have to burn my response once per turn or once per game on it. I very much just want to get rid of it and toss in your momentum. You do have to be careful about playing this card a little preemptively. It'd be super easy for them to play a really good card and bait this out, and then play an attack and then burn their whole momentum for multiple or powerful or whatever, something that I can't stop, or they force me to use my once per game to stop, which just doesn't feel good. I always want to use my once per game as my response to being in control, as opposed to a failsafe of please don't kill me. The next disruptive card that I have is Jolly Gloomy. This card is really interesting just because of the fact that it is a bit of a panic button itself. It is enhanced commit. Your opponent add the top card of the deck to their momentum, and destroy the discardable momentum playable while committed. And so this card is a, hey, I'm going to give you a momentum. Oh no, you've got a thing that uses momentum. I'll destroy it. Really solid target to bring back in with Honky Tonk Woman, because having your opponent have too much momentum and you not being able to find the Bleak Concerto is very, very, it's scary to say the least. On to the last disruption cards, we've got 1 Venomous. If they try and add any cards to their hand and I don't want to use the once per game, I can just stop it this way. Making sure that they can't find accidental answers to the Bleak Concerto. And then my last card is double Ageless Wise. I need to make sure that my staging area stays right where it is. And so things like Tagore Brothers or whatever, yes, I can stop it with Twinkle and that feels okay. But more importantly, I want to be able to just use my staging area to protect my staging area. Also, got a really gnarly 2 low block. And so there you have it, Twinkle Murdock 2. A character that is very slept on. She got banned, and then a second version of her came out that plays Tira's kit exceptionally well. If you like this deck, make sure you check out all the other Twinkle decks that we have on the channel, as well as any other character that you fancy, as well as the matches that we play for UniVersus. We play them here on the channel and out on Twitch, twitch.tv/TCGUniversity. And then my last thing, if you want to support the channel, please go out and donate at patreon.com/TCGUniversity. Get access to all the really cool perks that you get, and interact with the community. I will sit here and talk your ear off all day about Twinkle. She's a really cool character, one of my favorites in the entire game. So with that, thank you much for watching the video, and stay learned.